It's your girl, TMC, and she is wide awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. Yeah, I decided to go live this time of night. We turn my TV down. Hold up, y'all. Seems like that's about the only time I can get some quiet around here is this time of morning. But yeah, oh, still can hear the TV. Don't want my stuff to be messed up. Now, got that all taken care of. Yeah, I'm here with another live, and I hope everyone's doing okay out there in YouTube, uh, on the YouTube streets. I am. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay at this time, and my hope is for you all to be doing okay too. Now, my subject is did you hear that? It's a question mark, and I'll begin with I heard it. When we hear things, a lot of us we don't hear it clearly. Sometimes we make a big fuss over something that you really misunderstood. Uh, your ears need cleaning out. And when your ears need cleaning out, you in trouble because you be like, I don't know, be agitated. She did say that. No, she didn't say that. But nonetheless, have you guys ever played the game where um, we all sit in a little group and we whisper something to the next person to see if it's going to come back around the way it was said, but they never heard it. You whispering, and by the time you get to the end of the last person, you ask the last person what was said to him, and that person would say whatever it was, but it'd be about maybe about 5, 6 people said, "No, that ain't what was said. That ain't what was said." And it just tripped me out because the way a lot of people hear things. And I said, "Oh, let's just say this here. You can hear something and get mad, you know, about what you heard, and a lot of times we want to act on what we heard. Not that it's true, but we just heard it. And a lot of times we hear it wrong." And I said, "Oh, let's say this because I had a couple of coincidences that happened uh, that happened to me. And as I was listening with a keen ear, trying to get trying to get the real importance of what was being said, I'm like, why am I trying to feel some type of way? That ain't what was said, and what was said didn't didn't uh, aggravate me, but it was like the people that was in the chat that was being very aggravative, if you will. And so what I heard was I was over in a content creators chat, and normally she have all of her um what you call them, moderators. Yeah, she has all of her moderators there in her chat because they be trolling. But this particular time, it wasn't no moderators there, and they was over there tearing her up, and she was holding her own. But I saw the expression on her face, you know, on her face as if something was not quite right. And so as I was sitting there and I was listening and looking at the same time, I decided to ask her, you know, for uh, let me have a mod stick and I'll help you, control the chat. And so she said, no. She said, no, I don't know you. And so And then she went on to explain, that she has three and she don't know where three moderators and she don't know where they at. And so uh, when she told me no, I understood. And she was holding her own, but I could see the expression on her face, and I could also see how, sometimes people in the chat can be so mean, you know what I mean, and so ridiculous, And there you is, you can't even get your commentary out for some of these out of control trolls. So I did ask, and so when she told me no, uh, somebody else jumped up there and said something like, uh, "It's always best to be asked up instead of getting put down." No, I did not ask to come up. I asked because I saw a situation and I knew that if she had just a little bit of help, that it could be a little bit, better for her. And I love her commentary, by the way. And so, but I understood, and I felt her, like I said, and she took real care, very good care of all of the haters that was on her page at that time. And so, as we went on in the chat, my question to myself was when she said, "I don't know you." Do we really know a lot of these people that we're equated with on these YouTube streets? Uh, Especially if you kind of been dealing with them, and you probably don't have a one-on-one friendship with them. I believe it's very people on these YouTube streets. They don't know each other. They have never saw one another, but somehow or another, they bonded a friendship through the YouTube streets, and I believe that is so beautiful and awesome. They strengthen one another. And it ain't nothing wrong with that. And a lot of times, people say that people want to help, especially if you the type of person like I am. I'm always trying to be helpful. Let me tell you another coincidence. I had a job, and I had to learn this job. This was a job for a responsible, very observant, and very kind person. Just because you have the power don't mean that you can just run all over the place. And a lot of times people of power, they act like they be doing too much. So anyway, I was at work, and this man comes in. He comes in through the front gate. I mean, through the doors that I have to be in the building before everybody, and I have to unlock the building. So I was security. And so this man, he walks through. Anybody that walks through, they got to show me some form of ID. Okay, if they don't have the proper form of ID, and I'm not talking about you just come in and flash your things, you just flash your little badge, and I'm supposed to know that. No, I got to come up here. You got to come all the way up to the desk and let me see this here so I can know that you're in the building. Okay, maintenance or whoever, the cooks or whoever, the ushers, whoever, all of them had a thing if they had to be there early in the morning. So they had to come and see me. Okay, and so this particular day, this man walks in the building, honey, and he walked in the door. I'm looking at him, and so he's going on back there like he owned the building. So I stopped. I said, excuse me, may I help you? By this time, I done got up from my desk, and I'm walking over there toward the man, Don't have a clue who the man is. All I know is the man walked in like he owned the building. And so I told him, I said, if you don't mind, you have to come and get a badge so I can sign you in, you know what I mean? So I gave him the proper credentials, and he looked at me, and he never did tell me anything about who he was. He smiled gently, and he went on about his business. And so I want to say about 10 minutes after I done sit down, here come somebody who knew the man. And boy, they let me have it. You know what I mean? They was going, they was going out, and they was mad because I gave the man a badge and made him come over to sign in, and uh, they told me, uh, they told me that the man was the owner of all these different auxiliaries. Hello to everyone that's coming in, and thank you, Reba. Thank you. And so, as a man, like I said, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. I'm trying to do my job well. Okay. And so, by me not knowing who he was, he smiled. And like I said, the people that was already in the building, they knew who he was. And they come running up there like I had did the wrong thing. You don't give him no badge. He's the owner of the building, and he owned this, he owned it. Well, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was. All I know is I was doing my job. And so when they got wind of me, um, doing my job and checking him, stopping him, and giving him a badge, honey, them people come up there, and in other words, I was a talk of the town for doing the right thing. Okay, for doing the right thing. When you go to a job and wherever you are, you got to carry yourself in a way to where you can be watchful and observant and hear. Okay, whether you're right or wrong. And like I said, I'm new there. I knew some of the people, but I didn't know all of them. Fresh new. And this man come walking through the building. Oh no, I'm security. You got to come here, baby. You got to come over here and then do the right thing. But my thing is, when they got when he went down there and they saw that he had a badge from the security, because he cut through my doors. Well, they actually his doors. He the owner of the building, but I didn't know that. So, make a long story short, that man, they was all upset, different ones that knew who he was, because I'm telling you, when that man walked through the door, they treated that man like he was the president of the United States. Do y'all hear me? They treated that man, everybody knew him, but I didn't know him. He rubbed elbows with the stars, and as a matter of fact, the building I was working in at this time was a Fair Park music hall where they did live shows. So I got a chance to meet a lot of people, very important, very talented people, and I really enjoyed my job. So by me standing up to him and letting him know, hey, look, this is your building. This is what you hired me to do. But like I said, I've never been introduced to the main man. And so he took a liking to me, and all the other people, that was under me. Well, they were under me, but they was under him, and we all worked for the same building. They took that as a threat, and they was apologizing. They was apologizing, talking about she's new here and she don't know no better. And he took it to he didn't mean. I mean, he didn't see nothing wrong with it, but it was people that act like, hey, look, we so sorry. And you should have saw how they was when this man come in. And so they was when he come in the door, and now I met him and I seen him. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at when the man come through the door. You ought to see all the people running up there to him like they really trying to get some brownie points or something. And I'm like, what? What? Taking his coat, if he got something in his hand, treated him like, but they did that. So I'm standing in my little post, right? And I'm just observing and checking things out. So here come another brother, and boy, you talking about butt kisser, loved. I mean, honey, anything. You know what I mean? Anything to rub elbows with the main man. And so when he saw me standing on my post and everybody running up down there to the man like he was Michael Jackson or somebody, he gonna try to front me and tell me I need to be down there too. I'm like, be down there Two for what? It don't make no sense, you know. In other words, this is what they did for this man. Anytime he approached the building or he came in, and everybody trying to run and give him some aid. And I'm like, no, that's not my style, you know. I'm not gonna do that now. If he should need some help or anything, and I see him and he beckons me or call for me, then yeah, I will go over there and do what I need to do. But just running all out there trying to get brownie points, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So, and the man didn't have no problem with it. So this man right here, he had a bunch of money. He owned all these man, any place of entertainment, he owned it. You know what I mean? But he never forgot where he come from. I saw him. You know, I saw him. Uh, it was his building. Now he got janitors everywhere. You know, they come and they clean. And I saw him. It was something on the floor, and and instead of him calling the janitors to come and clean it up, this man went and got some cleaning supplies. They came back and got on his hands and knees and cleaned this stuff himself. Okay. And as he was cleaning it, I'm looking at him now. You know what I mean? I'm looking at him, and somebody else saw him down there and cleaning the spot. So he ran up to try to get him up. You know, can I help you? Can I help you? And the man said no. You know, he took a joy of taking care of stuff himself. He didn't need no help, so I'm checking him out. You know, sometimes you gotta let people do what they do. So anyway, back to the chat. It's a lot of times, you know, it's the people that really make things hard for us out here, you know. And so as I'm looking around and I'm checking things out, so later on that evening we got a chance to go on to another content creators page, and wait a minute, let me back up. And so I want to say this here about this lady, you know, that told me no, you know. In other words, I got this. I appreciate you, TFC, but no, I don't know you. And I took that humbly, you know. But I took that humbly, and I understood where she was coming from. A lot of times you can insert yourself in something. It's a big difference when you insert yourself and when you ask somebody, would you like some help, or would you like some assistance? It's a big difference, you know. A lot of people don't get that. Don't let that go over your head. But anyway, as we was this content creator, that everybody knows her. She's well loved in these streets, and I like her too, because she motivates, and she can teach a lot of us a lot of things. But for whatever reason, while you know, when the situation I was telling you about happened and it crashed, and I was involved in it, you know, and I didn't understand. I wanted to talk, and just wasn't no conversation about it. But anyway, we were all together, you know, one great big happy family. Yes, we were. You know, we enjoyed one another. We loved on one another. We didn't run around here step on one another's toes. Why? Because we had one interest. Everybody was had commentary, and they had commentary on what they call the left side and the right side. Well, for me, I don't know none of these people, and I never, I was never one to just like and don't like nobody. You know what I mean? How can you not like nobody and you never saw them? You know, this internet now has done got really bad. You know what I mean? It done really got bad. So I'm sitting here, and for me, it's like entertainment, and I would uh get to know the individual, the content creators for myself. If it was something in that content creator that I did like, then I would I would unsubscribe, and I would move on. I would make no big public announcement about, you know, I'm subscribing and this and that. You know, it was just something in there that I saw and didn't like or whatever, and I just moved on. You know, and moved in silence. Well, this content creator right here, we all had problems we all had problems this particular day, and she came on and she made, and it hurted her when she saw the devastation, when she saw the devastation, of what was going on within our sector. That lady was heartbroken. Oh, I could feel her pain. I could feel her pain. And so she got on there, and it's something when you're doing a lot of stuff and you hear this and you hear that, and then it comes back, and when it comes back, some of us, when we hear different things, we instantly get hot-headed. We instantly get mad, She's what? And next thing you know, they're a big fuss. And a lot of times that's the way things happen. And we don't understand. I don't understand people that's so easy to get mad about what somebody said. Is it true? You know, is it something you heard? Is it something you made up? And a lot of times, this is what we do. We use our words to provoke each other, to the highest, and it don't make no sense to hurt somebody like that. Hey, Bailey Hoover. Good morning to you, darling. And yeah, it don't make no sense the way the things was going down, and so it took a big toss, and it looked like when she heard what was going on, and some words were spoken to her, and so she questioned the individual about what was going on, and so the lady said no, she wasn't gonna do that, and so that's all she wanted was an answer. She didn't get mad and all, cuss the lady all out and stuff like that there. But because she took a stand to come to her to have a conversation, the little slick shotter bust out and started talking, said something in a negative light about comparing her grandson to her great grandson, and that popped it off. You know what I mean? That right there did it. You know what I mean? It was nowhere in the world that right there conversation should have happened. But we as a people, we do things out of arrogance and ignorance, and we just love to seem like some of us love to just go around and hurt one another without a cause. So of course now they into it, They was into it before, long time ago, before they got together. But the content creator came and apologized, to her, and she fell in love with her. And in my heart and my mind, I feel like I don't feel like there's a hate there, I know it's not a hate there for me, It's not a hate there for me. This is just the eye opener. I don't care how long you know somebody, you know them 5 or 6 years, and when people come in and out of your lives, for me, I'm learning this. Some of them are in your lives for a season, and some of them is in your life for a low season, and 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 sometimes when it's time to go, we need to know how to go. You know, don't get mad because for me, I was asked to leave after I was disrespected by this individual. I mean, totally disrespected without a cause. You hear me? And so, uh, of course, I jumped up and gave her what for. Because I wanted to be heard, and I need to be heard. And a lot of time when you a subscriber, when you are a subscriber, you when you are a subscriber, you just have to take a lot of stuff. And I would have never thought, long as I know a lot of times, family they don't get along every day. If anybody tell you that they family get along perfectly every day. They telling the story. They lying because we don't get along every day. But we do know how. We ought to know how to get along. You know what I mean? Even if you're wrong, stop going around here holding all these grudges and all this stuff in your heart of your mind because it's not going to help you grow. It's not help you be successful. You know what I mean? And somebody need to understand. Now, them people, like I said, them people really love this lady, and I know she had a love for them. So once that uh once that ball got to rolling and it broke, she was just talking to the lady. They had words. Well, and they know how that lady get down. They know her. They know her mouth. You know, when she was over there doing a commentary on somebody else, they was all ha, he kidded. You know, and I mean, I'm telling you, that's how they was doing. You know, and they was backing her up, you know, loving on her, you know, and supporting her to the highest. And next thing I know, when her and the lady fell out, a lot of her subscribers was over there with her, and so the subscribers got mad, you know, because they would have take up for the lady who went bad on us all. And it amazes me about how sometimes we can run around here and we can hold up people in their wrong. Okay, just hold them up. And so, and right today it's still going on. So, uh, a few of the content creators that's riding with her right today, they are over there and they going back and forward, and they with this lady, you know, just tearing her down, and she tearing them down. She cussing them out, they cussing her out, and it's a on and on and on and on and on and on thing. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. What is really going on? You know, uh, maybe that's is that the only way you know how to get paid? Is to get on a app and argue? You know, what are you really mad about? You know, what? Uh, you just was in love with me yesterday, and now today you can't stand the ground I walk in. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's I think it's that deep to the fact that uh, that that somebody hurt you. Now, did they hurt you intentionally, or did they hurt you accidentally? That's the question that I want to know. When this mess all broke out, was it done intentionally, or was it an accident? And the way it's going on, it seemed like it was done intentionally. Okay? You got people coming out every day, you know, all day, talking about they running a marathon. Okay? It's almost like doggy eat dog, you know? Yeah, it's almost like doggy eating dog. Oh, oh, well, thank you. I didn't know I had a moderator. Thank you, baby. But anyway, so it blowed up and it's still going on. And what saddens me is how we is running around here and acting like we don't know what happened. You know, we close our eyes to a lot of things that is that's not right. You know, it's not right at all. We close our eyes to uh to understand where. Look, like I say, it always takes two people to argue. So as I was rolling around on the sunset, you know, and it's awful when you are innocent. You know you haven't done anything, you know, but you took the worst end of the blow. Okay, and and so I'm around here and I'm looking at things that is happening even now. It's heartbreaking, for us to continue on just being just awfully ugly with one another. And so my thing is I want to be here to try to make the YouTube streets better, because I know I can, but I can't do it by myself. You ought to want to join the crowd. It's so much going on in this world. People really don't realize that violence is everywhere. And the Bible said that in the last day the love of many is going to be waxing cold. Ain't nobody don't nobody care how they act. Don't nobody care what they say. Don't nobody care. But you ought not never forget where you come from. You ought not to, did you hear me? You ought not to never forget where you come from. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something else. While we running around here, I heard an individual say the other day, I haven't did anything. I haven't did anything to them. And now you saying that they're laughing at your pain and at your trauma. And no, baby, when nobody laughing at your pain and your trauma, I assure you, I wasn't laughing at your pain and your trauma. But you have to understand that it was a lot of stars on the show, okay? And they were very comical, okay? It was very comical, and we need to understand that, Now you want to be all upset and angry because you feel like you didn't do nothing to deserve that. Well, somebody knows something. And like I said, we all was a big family. And here recently, we have other content creators that we share a lot of us share the same subscribers and things of that nature. So all of a sudden, they was over there, they mind their business, and a whole group of people don't know who they are. But all of a sudden they start going in, in different chats and start taking their badges and unsubscribing to different content creators. Why they did that, I don't know. I really don't know why they did that. But my thing is, when I go over and try to check and be observant to really try to figure things out, they be over there in the other content creators, and they be bragging on what they did. I had a 31 membership, and whoop de doop de doop, and I took and I unsubscribed. Well, really? Is that what we doing now? Why did you unsubscribe? What did they do to you? What did they do? They didn't do anything for you all to be carried on like that. Okay? You want to get mad and say people are tripping and they hating on you. No, they're not tripping and hating on you. No. Like I said, a lot of times it was all for entertainment for me, but now now it's trying to get like it's worse than a horrible TV show that you done saw. All you see is people coming on and they arguing and they saying ugly things to you, about your opinion, and people just run around here just like, and it hurts, it hurts me from where I sit and where I tune in at from time to time, and it's like, You got some people, their channels is just built on drama. And you got to be careful what you eat all the time too. Okay? You got to be really careful. I don't eat a lot of stuff. Yeah, I hear it, And like I said, my main thing is when I hear it, if I'm sitting there, uh, if I'm sitting there in the chat, and I'm engaging, then I'm laughing, but you really don't know what I'm laughing at. So you assume. Now it done got so pitiful now where you go in the chat and they got what they said, trip me all the way out. They said they got I got screenshots of you saying this and you saying that. What they do that at? You really don't have a life if you're doing that. Yes, you really don't. You're gonna take out the time to sit up there and screenshot this and screenshot that in a chat? Really? Okay. Now you all heard it in a bundle, but you got to understand when you was flocking over there to different content creators' pages, and all of a sudden a bunch of the subscribers have left and took their badges and stuff, you know, they trying to figure out what in the world is going on. What did I do? Why? Who hurt me like that? Somebody has the answer. Somebody really know what in the world is really going on. What is happening? But they ain't saying nothing. They back there in the background laughing. You know what I mean? They think it is funny to cause division. They think it is funny to cause hurt. They think it is funny to cause all these type of problems. But I got news you can use. For all y'all out there thinking that, hey, this is cool. No, it's not. I done told you before. Whatever we do out here, it's reaping season. And if you don't get on your knees and pray and ask God to forgive you for your part, accountability at this time is a must. Okay? It's a must. But a lot of people don't want to be held accountable. They want to continue to do this thing. And it lets me know that this old place right here, it ain't going to last too long. That's not going to last too long because the word of God is fulfilling itself every day. Okay? Now, you can get caught up in the who shot John, like my mama would say, if you want to. But don't get caught up in the who shot John to where you can't sleep at night. I just got to run over there and cuss him out in front of 3,000 people, 5,000 people, I just got to get over here and tell him. I just got to get over here and tell her off. And thinking it just cute. And that's the thing to do. Sometimes, man, we can hear, but we ain't got to act so ignorant about what we heard. I heard it. I heard this about you. I heard that about you. And if it's true, let's talk about it. Don't run around here and get on the bandwagon. Now you done got so bold. Now you want to run around there and dox everybody. You're attacking their family members. They don't have nothing to do with this internet stuff. They don't have nothing to do with it. But you're attacking. My thing is, when will it ever stop? When will it ever stop? So, I'm saying all this to say this here. We as a people can do better. It is a great big difference between may I help you and inserting yourself. Okay? If you're being asked to help, It's a big difference. But when you call yourself somebody's mad, and they mad, they blowing steam. Now they come and get you, and you all mad. You know, you all mad, and you mad because that person is bad. You ain't really got no reason to be mad and pissed off about nothing. To tell you the truth, but that's the type of time we on, and that's very childish. Yeah, that's very childish. But just shed some light on what's going on. It takes two people to tangle. If you don't like what I said, you don't like what you heard, you run around here just provoking nonsense and violence, it's gonna all come up again. And when it come up, you ain't gonna like how it come up. No. And it don't take a lot to what harm yourself. It don't take a lot to come and say, I apologize, I'm sorry. Let's start over. It don't take a lot. But before we do all that hurting, we. Now my thing is another thing. How you gonna sit up here and get all bent up out of shape, and you run around here wishing death on people that you don't even know? They did a wrong thing, to you, yes, but you don't got in your mind and your heart to that's what you do. You wishing unalive, just unaliving this and unaliving that. And you're talking to people, you're talking to people that you're wishing that on. So when they throw your trauma back in your face, you want to be a victim now. Again, we have to use our words. We have to use our words. And stop running around here trying to hurt people. I do know how what they do. They play the dozens, and the dozens can be very, very hurtful. But it comes a time when you provoking one another. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say that, and everything you say, it just really just burns people. And you burning it. You burn it. You know what you're saying. And a lot of times, you just saying things just to be saying things. But when things shake up on these YouTube streets, and God put it back like it used to be, where it was fun and it is entertaining, it's going to be a whole lot of people not going to be mad, And I'm gonna challenge myself to if there's a lot of drama, the drama going on for years, months, and days, I'm gonna excuse myself up out of that particular chat, because I don't care to hear the same thing every single day. I'm hurting you and you hurting me. It's a lot of positive things that you can go find yourself. And if you feed yourself that mess, then you'll become that. You know what I mean? You will. You it's true say you are what you eat. You are what you eat. And so don't get me wrong, it's gonna be very challenging to a lot of us, because a lot of us, hey, look, you brought this particular argument on yourself. Okay? You brought it on yourself. So once you get it off your chest, then hey, you go on your way and I go on my way. But every single day, no. I'm trying to go and find something to really hurt you about. I'm digging. I'm digging so hard I'm over here. I'm in a dark state of mind and don't even realize it. And it amazes me because a lot of times we don't even realize what we're doing. Okay? Well, it ain't happened to me. You're not the one that kind of stuff to happen to you. In order for you to what? Let your eyes open up. You know? Let your eyes open up and hear for yourself what's going on. So I just hope you guys out there continue to do better. And when you get tired of the nonsense, the constant tearing down, because there's a lot of people. Like I said, you're flopping down over there in people's chats and you try to tell them what to say. If they don't say what you want them to say, then you got a problem with it. You in the whole group. And like I said, I'm going over there. I'm hanging around in the bushes. I'm hearing some real childish mess. Why you took your badge, from somebody they did nothing, ain't said nothing to you. Because, and they ain't said nothing to the person either. They ain't said nothing about that person, but you run around there out of control and bragging on. That's what tripped me out. You bragging on. I remember I was going around in a chat and I'm noticing another thing. A lot of people are changing their names, to not be identified as who they are because all this mess has happened. Okay? They still want to fellowship. They still want to be, where they want to be. But since folks is running around here doing the most, screenshotting, I seen you down there and bringing it back and now they kicking you all. Really? That's going to hurt a lot of us in the long run. It ought not to be no place that you cannot go that you cannot enjoy yourself. Kicked out for what? I can understand if you are being kicked out because you don't know how to act. Yeah. You invited to a nice place. I can understand that once you're in there, trying to tear up the establishment. You're doing all you just doing the most. I could understand that. Yeah, you need to be put out. You need to be put on do not recommend. Because people are trying to have something nowadays. People want to be lifted up nowadays. People want to be encouraged nowadays. People want to be loved nowadays. And this lady told me, she said, it done got so bad to you can't trust nobody no more nowadays. You done been with them a long time, but you can't trust them. And so, me myself, I'm looking for the real ones. Okay, I'm not looking for these folks that's dramafied and they don't want to come out of drama. They don't know how to do nothing else but meddle, pick, be petty, and love how they act. Say what you're gonna say and do what you're gonna do and go on with your life. I can appreciate somebody like that way better than somebody that every time you come to their house, they got a mess going on. They just got a mess going on every time. No, that's why I got my own platform now, because I can talk about these things and try to help somebody if they listen, get their act together and do better. Well, I personally got to get on the internet and call another individual a whole bunch of cuss words and what is that all about? You think that's cute? You cussing out an elderly lady and an elderly lady cussing you out? You think that's cute? You think that's entertainment? Well, to each his own. But again, if it get too overwhelming for me, I just really just thank God, because it's so much out here that can catch your eye and help you in a positive light. You ain't got to sit over there and indulge with that mess. You know, that's when you come to the realization that, hey, look, I'm tired of this, so I'm just gonna go on and walk on up out of there, and find somewhere else to go. Do better. Find your group of people. Let the drummer five people stay on over there. You ain't got to talk about it, but hurt them in any kind of which way. You ain't got to do all that. That's what they do. And that's what they do. But me, I'm just checking it out from where I stay. I'm checking it out and seeing what I'm going to do, you know. Because like I said, to be attacked for no reason at all, that was a showstopper for me. And how I running around trying to figure out what in the world was going on. That's what I did. Yeah. After I cussed you back out. After I cussed you back out, I still wanted answers. I still wanted a conversation, but it wasn't happening. So, and I can appreciate that. It happened, and I just, in my mind, I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. So that's why I'm out here today, to ask the question, and don't get it twisted. What's wrong with may I help you versus inserting yourself? Call yourself helping somebody, but that's the only thing you doing is cussing somebody out every single. You proud of that? Are you proud of that? When once upon a time, not too long ago, we all loved each other. We cared for each other. We had a common interest. And my thing was, I never did call myself taking side. I was just over here. It seemed like when I jump in another chat somewhere, they wanted to bust out it, and because they saw me over there, so they wanted to just put me in a group. I'm a this, I'm a that. Well, they do say birds of a feather flock together. So if I was a bird and I'm over there flocking with you, I guess you can label me, but that's not who I am. I'm not labeled. I'm not going to let nobody label me. I'm not going to let nobody put a jacket on me, tell me who the hell I am. No. Mm-mm. No. Not going to let, no. Not going to let nobody label me and tell me who I am. You can ask me. We can have a conversation. But no. That's what people want to do. They want to put you in a light, and they don't know if that light is a good light to be in or a bad light to be in. But you need to be trying to know the difference between what's going on. Yeah. You need to understand that. What you're going to do with your life. How you want people to understand and see you. Most of all, how you going to treat somebody. And like I said, a lot of people, that's what they do. They are very observant, and it's good to watch as well as listen, make sure you heard it right. And I guess because I'm not out here slanging and cussing nobody all out, uh, They feel like they don't know who I am. They don't want to know. They want to know, but they're afraid to know. But I'm gonna tell you something. You be careful who you run out here trying to cuss out, because you'll miss out on your blessings. I don't know you, and you don't know me. But guess what? God knows me, and God knows you. While you running up here being ugly without a reason. Okay? You don't have to be ugly. You really don't. But if you choose to be ugly, you better watch out. Reaping season coming for you, baby. And I'm guaranteed, when you come up against somebody like me and say your ugly stuff, your words or whatever, I hope that God allow you to say and ding on a light. You should have never said that about TMC. He check you. I hope God check you for any type of ugliness that you got to say to me. And you know what else? I want God to check me. If I say anything ugly or degrading to bring you down. Oh, yeah. Because I want to be held accountable. I want to continue to try to do the right thing, to lift you up as well as you lift me up, you know? And we lifted each other up because this is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. But if you don't know how to encourage and lift somebody up, come on back over to my page. I'll help you. I do all I can to direct you and show you that there is a better way. And please don't get on my, Lord Jesus, please don't let none of these people get on my, just make me mad. Because, yes, baby, I can get mad too. I can get mad and cussed and go off just like everybody else. But that's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to do. But sometimes, and I don't know what it is about some of these children out here, you can talk to them so kind and treat them so kind. Baby, don't do that. Baby, stop, You just all loving, and the little child just ain't paying you no attention. Just doing what they want to do. How many times I got to keep talking to you? That's what I'm looking at. I know you hear me, but you gonna do what you want to do. Now, I'm screaming at you. You mean to tell me I got to scream and holler at you in order for you to... Don't do that. Guess what? TMC ain't gonna be hollering at you. No. Because you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about nothing. And I'm here trying to help you. Trying to protect you. Trying to show you what things is all about. Somebody had to show me. And I believe I turned out okay. I didn't do everything perfect, I didn't do everything perfect, but what I did do, I learned. And I want to share the good things I learned and I was taught, In my family, it was 5 of us, and I'm the oldest. And I got my siblings, they always come when they got a problem or they got something on their minds. We always sit down, and the first thing they want to do is they want to call their big sister. They want to know how to cook, or they want to whatever. They gonna call me. So what I do, you know, talk to them, give them the recipe, tell them to write it down, and tell them, to follow the directions. And what tripped me out is after they took all that down, they got the information to help themselves, and they cook it or they prepare it or they do it. They so happy because it came out so good, so perfect. Now, my thing is, You calling me again, and you want the recipe again. What did you do with the what did you do with the information that was given to you the first time? Yeah, we get careless, We put stuff down, throw it away, and this and that, I understand all that. Okay, so I give it to you again. Tell you to put it up. Because you're gonna want it, you're gonna want this thing. You wanna, in other words, you wanna use that information so you can get better and better and better. It don't make no sense to get some good information and then you throw it away. And then you got to go over there and call the person, bug them, You're gonna be a nuisance then. But anyway, so when my family come to me, I give them about 2 times, and so they come back again. They want a repeat. Sitting down. Now that means I got to go get my recipe if it's not in my head. You know what I mean? A lot of things I keep in my head, but a lot of things I don't. So I got to go get the recipe and tell you this over and over and over and over again. Now we're not gonna go. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna go through the recipe every time you want to make it, every time you want to cook. We're not gonna do that. No, we're not. Take instructions, practice, study, and be the best you can be. And you can do it. I know you can do it. I'm proud of you when you do it. I commend you for doing it. Okay? And I just want you to keep on enjoying life. Keep on with new experiences. Keep on growing the right way. Because somebody's going to need your help one day. And you can help them be the best they can be. Okay? So be careful what you pour out here. If you pour out a lot of hell and confusion, fussing and fighting, you pouring all that out, you sure gonna get it back. But that's not what I want to do. I want to pour in to anybody that will allow me. I'm not gonna force myself on you. Not gonna do that. I'm gonna ask you, may I help you? And I ain't got to know you to ask you. Especially if I got a job to do. I'm gonna ask you, can I help you? And your answer could be yes or no. Okay? Yes or no. Because you don't know, we don't know one another. But it is good to get to know something about somebody. We got so much going on in this world out here it's necessary, very necessary to shed some light of hope. Because the way this world is going, it's going it's going in a way that a lot of people they think what they doing is right, but in their heart they know it's not. So anyway, I'm going to encourage everybody out there to understand, hey, look, every response you heard it. You heard it. It does not mean you got to get on the bandwagon and get to drag it, you know. You drag it in every day, all the time, you know. It'll come a time when you ought to be tired of it yourself, you know. Same old food. You ain't no change. Ought to be tired. But anyway, on to bigger and better things, good people. I hope you guys have a wonderful day in the meantime. And I appreciate everyone who's under the sound of my voice. And just know, TMC, she loves you. She loves you. And she cares about you. I don't have no room to hate nobody, wish evil on nobody. I don't have no room. And I don't want that type of room. Okay? So understand this. Put out some good things. put out some good things, you know. I know people hurt you, and you want to hurt them back. I know. I know. People say things, you want to say things back. I know. I don't do so well all the time when they coming in and cutting on me and hurting on me. I want to give them back the same energy. But see, the thing about me is I got to try to lay down at night. And I can't rest well. The God I serve won't let me rest well with a whole lot of uh, things that I said, you know, and I did. Now I got to try to sleep. I'm losing sleep because I did something wrong. Only thing you gotta do is repent. You ain't gotta repent to me. You can tell God you're sorry and move on. Yeah, and do better. But you don't have good people. I done said what I needed to say. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a blessed day. And y'all pray for me because y'all don't know what I'm going through. Just like I don't know what y'all are going through. So you can best believe if you cross my mind, the few people that I had in my chat, you're on my prayer list. You're on my prayer list today. Even the ugly people that had nerve enough to drop in and say ugly things. It wasn't that many of you, but I just gonna pray for you that God directs you and He brought you over here for a reason. And I don't want you to miss out your blessing. I don't want you to miss out on what God has for you for coming over here, being taking up a seat to get some understanding on this beautiful morning. I'm shedding all the sun rays, the sunshine. I hope the sunshine shine brightly on your lives and leave you with happy feelings and leave you with calmness and leave you with joy and leave you with blessings that you can't imagine. And I'm going to tell you something. You can't get no blessings being wretched and raggedy and ugly and no. You got to get this here the right way. Yeah, you got to get this the right way. So anyway, it's your girl Terri M C, and she's signing out for now. Bye-bye.